Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. Today's March 28th, 2016. On Lupercalia, I said to look out for this date because it was 44 days after the 44th day of the year. I thought we might get some more programming, such as this headline: Capital Suspect Identified in the Wake of a Man Pulling a Gun and Being Shot and Arrested. If you're new to my channel, I am exposing that there is an ongoing purposeful propaganda pattern in the media relating to what is being forecast for the 44th president, Barack Obama. This ongoing propaganda includes threats against his life, people being arrested with sniper rifles outside the White House, people jumping the fence, people landing gyrocopters at the White House. It includes him reopening Ford's Theater on a special date where Lincoln was assassinated, and it very much connects to him being the 44th president. As it turns out, 44 is a fateful number for assassination. So we're going to talk about all that and more, and all that is coded in today's purposeful propaganda: Capital Suspect Identified. Let's begin by watching this mainstream coverage. Then I will take it apart and show you what a coded hoax it is.
A chaotic scene in the heart of Washington as visitors to the U.S. Capitol run for shelter.
We heard, get out, there's an active shooter. And so we all ran out, went around the side of the building. Police escorted us up the building. It's the most stressful experience I've ever had in my life.
The incident sparked by a...
Did you hear it? It was the most stressful experience I ever had in my life. Said with complete calm.
lone gunman who set off the metal detector as he entered the Capitol Visitor Center. Tourists and Capitol staffers were ordered to shelter in place.
I saw everybody acting a little nuts, and then I saw a policeman coming through.
Doesn't this guy just have the appearance of a little bit nuts? I'm telling you, these people are crisis actors. They're picked for a reason. They're given lines for a reason. This man's hair communicates chaos.
And officers coming out in a row that was just like sprinting down, and they're going, "Move it, get out of the way." And then I figured something's going on.
A female bystander was wounded by shrapnel.
An adult male subject entered the north screening facility of the Capitol Visitor.
How many chins does this guy have? I am sick of watching this propaganda with these fat tubs of lard going before the news screen, paid for by taxpayers, lying to the people. Look at these people. This is who's here to protect us? How safe do you feel? Let me tell you something. The day you ever need the police, you're going to find out they're not here for you. They are here to maintain the system and all that is wrong with it. The people who have been given the authority, they are the real sellouts, the real traitors, the real terrorists, the real fearmongers. That includes the police, the media, the federal government, state governments, all the people that the authority has been handed to, including this guy, Jabba the Hutt's stunt double.
Center. During routine administrative screening, the individual drew what appeared to be a weapon and pointed it at officers. An officer fired and struck the suspect, who was subsequently treated by medical.
I mean, look at this fucking idiot. Does he know what happened, or does he have to read off the cue card? It's always this, too. Double and triple chins reading off cue cards.
Personnel. The suspect was taken into custody and transported to the hospital for treatment.
Capitol Police say the suspect acted alone and was known to authorities as a frequent Capitol grounds visitor. This comes as tourists from around the country have flocked to D.C. during the popular spring season.
With the updates, they gave us, updates, and they were very congenial to us, very hospitable, and made us feel safe.
And again, an update to the investigation that we can show you at this hour. Police surrounding this Dodge Ram 1500 pickup truck with Tennessee plates. This has been confirmed by police as the suspect's vehicle. Police surrounding it now. and they may be searching it in the minutes ahead of us here. We can tell you also from two law enforcement sources that the suspect identified as Larry Russell Dawson, not been publicly identified yet by law enforcement, but according to court documents, he disrupted a House of Representatives chamber session in October of 2015 and stated in that incident that he was a prophet of God. He is identified in court documents as a 66-year-old male from Tennessee.
So 66-year-old prophet of God from Tennessee. I'm going to show you how all of this is coded. Before we get into that, I just want to ask you a question. Do you remember where Martin Luther King Jr. was shot on 4/4/1968? Yes, Tennessee. Obama, the 44th president. I have a lot of videos on Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, Obama, the parallels. So let's go through this. Today's March 28th, 2016, the 88th day of the year, 44 days since the death of Scalia. On President's Day, which followed right after that, CNN had a headline foreshadowing the death of Obama. Very creepy. Have videos on this. Anyhow, let's go through today's date numerology. 67, which reminds me of Freemasonry. It also reminds me of George Washington, the first president. George Washington in gematria equals 88. He died at age 67. He was a 33rd degree Freemason. He has a temple in Virginia built after him that's 333 feet tall. Blood sacrifice also equals 67. Life lesson number of 40 today. United States of America equals 40. 22 is the master builder number, one of these important multiples of 11. What stands out the most, though, is the numerology of 47. The word president equals 47. From today until Obama's birthday is a span of 4 months and 7 days. We'll talk more about that. Some other words with 88 gematria: Uncle Sam, George Washington, poison, program, a multiple of 11. From the 44th day of the year, Lupercalia, which has gematria 44, until today, 44 days. The headline up here is Capital Suspect Identified. This headline is interesting for the following reasons. In Pythagorean gematria, with the S exceptions, it sums to 129. And from today until Obama's birthday is 129 days. These Freemasons love to measure by birthdays for their targets of ritual sacrifice. To me, this story hints at what is to come for the 44th president. Also a span of 4 months and 7 days. Notice it's also 18 weeks and 3 days. This is interesting because capital shooting in simple English gematria equals 183. They say the shooter's name was Larry Russell Dawson. Interesting name in gematria. Larry Russell Dawson equals 76, just like capital. It's a capital shooting. Also 103. Notice it's 76 and 103 in numerology break down to 13. Very special number. Nation began with 13 colonies. USA equals 41, which is the 13th prime number. Larry Dawson without the middle name equals 51 and 60, identical to the word conspiracy. His initials, LRD, in Pythagorean gematria equals 16. This happens in the beginning of 2016. In simple English gematria, his name is more interesting. Larry equals 74, like Masonic, also the reflection of 47. Think about this nation's birthday, July 4th. The country is currently 239 years old. This shooting supposedly happened at 2:39 in the afternoon local time, D.C. time, Eastern Standard Time. The name Russell has gematria of 106, like prophecy, also like Tennessee, where he's from, supposedly. He thought of himself as a prophet. This is how they code it. It's in the words, and it's coded into the numbers. You heard of them yourselves in the story. Larry Russell Dawson, self-proclaimed prophet. The name Dawson also has gematria of 76 in simple English gematria, just like the full name in Pythagorean gematria, just like capital. You see why they coded 76 so heavily in. The word master also equals 76. With regards to Capitol shooting, it has gematria of 75 and 84. New World Order equals 75. United States of America equals 84. The United States of America is a creation of the New World Order. It has never been a sovereign nation. It's always been under banker tyrant control. Bankers and tyrants who spread their madness to North America, South America, and the rest of the world. This is what the New World Order is, a Masonic, Zionist, Jesuit order. Jesuit also equals 84. With regards to Obama, Obama in Jewish gematria equals 84, just like United States of America. His birthday is also August 4th. He's currently the age of 54, which Osama bin Laden died at. Obama, Osama. These are character, actor agents, all created for the narrative, the agenda we are living out. Presidents are not elected, they are selected. The people of this world are always given a show to keep them in line, believing in lies. Osama bin Laden was 44 when he bombed the World Trade Centers, which opened in history on April 4th. And he didn't really bomb them. All part of the coded joke. I have a video on the death of Osama. What a giant joke it is. Anyhow, notice that Osama died at 54 and Obama's currently 54. Turn 55 later this year if he makes it. From today till 44 days from now is May 11th. I just wanted to continue this pattern of counting by 44. The White House has 132 rooms in it. 44 times 3. 44 days from today is May 11th. May 11th stands out to me because Saturn in Jewish gematria equals 511. In history, on this date, Bob Marley died from cancer. Cancer in gematria equals 44. Chemo equals 44. Kill equals 44. Anyhow, Saturn 511, Bob Marley died on May 11th. Bob Marley equals 93. Saturn in simple English gematria equals 93. This number has a lot to do with sacrifice. Crucifix equals 93. Lots of occult sacrifice around the number 93. Two of the most famous black Americans in the history of the nation prior to Obama, Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X, named gematria of 93. They both died at age 39. Martin Luther King Jr. gave his last speech on the 93rd day of the year at Mason Temple with an address of 903. He said he would die soon. He would be shot the next day on April 4th. Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X only met together one time in history, March 26th, 64. We just passed the anniversary 2 days ago. That's a date with 93 numerology. The two men with the 93 gematria who died at age 39. Saturn is said to be the keeper of time. Saturn, 93. Saturn, the keeper of time. Notice how time equals 144. When you write out April 4th, when you write out 44, they both sum to 144. These numbers connect to Obama. They connect to Lincoln. Lincoln dreamed on April 4th he would be shot and killed, only to be shot 10 days later. 10 days later equals 144. He was shot on Good Friday. As for Malcolm X, he was murdered in history on a date with a life lesson number of 44. His assassin, Thomas Hagen, in gematria equals 44. He got 44 years in prison. Again, Martin Luther King Jr. killed in Tennessee, like today's man who pulled a gun, killed on April 4th. Notice how when you write out April 4th and 44, they both sum to 144. Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassin would die in prison 30 years later on a date with 144 numerology. Saturn, the keeper of time, has gematria of 30 as well. He pulled the gun at the Capitol Visitor Center, the CVC. We'll talk about that in a moment. Again, he's from Tennessee. Tennessee has gematria of 34 and 52. Also the big way, 106, like prophecy. Like Russell, his middle name, the man who pulled the gun. With regards to 34, murder equals 34. It's the 9th Fibonacci number. With regards to 52, the number 239 is the 52nd prime number. The USA is currently 239 years old. There's been a lot of 239 coding in the past year. Think about how Obama met with the Pope on September 23rd. Lots of 44 coding into that day. Again, the incident happened at 239. Hoaxes by the numbers, tributes to what's coming. The nation will be 239 until July 4th. 7447. In the reporting, they said one woman was injured. She got minor injuries. They emphasize minor. Minor has gematria of 33, like federal, like police, a number they love to code into the hoaxes. That very fat police officer, his name was Capitol Police Chief Matthews Veridosa. Gematria of 166, a number connected to tragedy, a number coded all over 9/11, what happened that day. His last name, Verderosa, has gematria of 44 and 53, identical to shooting, more of this 44 coding. His last name, 107, also like shooting the big way. This guy was probably trained just to do this, propagandize the people all throughout his career. I mean, what's a guy like him gonna do out on the streets? Big fat guy? He'd be useless outside of a car. Anyhow, with the Capitol Visitor Center, the CVC, C's the third letter, V's the 22nd. CVC creates this 3-22-3 sequence. A lot of people know 322 for the Masonic Order Skull and Bones. Yale, George W. Bush, the prior president, a member of. John Kerry, who ran against him in 2004, a member of. Anyhow, that 223 also stands out. Masonic 223, it's the Masons and the Zionists who do this. The name for the Zionists in the Bible is the Synagogue of Satan, 223. They love to code these numbers in their wrongdoing. Abraham Lincoln. Abraham equals 44. Honest Abe equals 44. Honest Abe had an assassination attempt on his life at the Willard Hotel. Exactly 223 weeks later, he would be shot at Ford's Theater. He'd be shot on Good Friday. He was born in a town with 223 gematria. The day he died on had 84 numerology. Some people say it was the Jesuits who killed him. Jesuit has gematria of 84. What I'd ask you to think about is that he was shot by an actor in a theater. Likely a hoax. Likely an actor agent for his times. I've done a lot of work on Lincoln. Born on the 43rd day of the year. Civil War equals 43. Charleston equals 43. Civil War began in Charleston. Obama, the 44th president, but the 43rd man to be president. That's because Grover Cleveland counted as 22 and 24. Obama was elected on November 4th, 2008, a date with 43 numerology. He gave his acceptance speech at Grant Park, having gematria 43 in the land of Lincoln. Lots of parallels between Lincoln and Obama. Lincoln, the first president to die in office. If Obama dies in office, he'll be the 9th. The last was JFK. JFK was the 35th president. The word Catholic equals 35. He's the only Catholic president. He was also the 44th term president. He was killed on the first day of Sagittarius, which has gematria of 144. His brother would die in 68 after MLK at 1:44 in the morning. By the numbers. He would die after being shot on June 6th, 6/6. They said this man with the gun was 66 years old today. The prophecy man. The book in the Bible that's number 66 is Revelation, the book of prophecy. This man's 66 years old. Robert Kennedy equaled 66. Sirhan Sirhan equaled 66. Robert Kennedy being shot on 6/6. It's always been by the numbers, the major deaths reported in this nation. The world's a stage. Don't forget it. There's more to it, but we'll move on. 66. Empire equals 66. We live in an empire ruled by the numbers. Also, I just want to remind the name Barack Obama equals 68, reminding of 1968, the year MLK was assassinated, the year Bobby Kennedy was assassinated. I'm saying there might be two major assassinations this year, a person running to be president, as well as the 44th president. A lot being projected for Donald Trump, who's being compared to George Wallace, who was shot 44 years ago in May of 72. They say the man who was shot today was arrested in October. October, the only month with 33 gematria. When you write out 33, it also sums to 66, like his age. More coding, more scripting. From today until May 23rd, which is the 144th day of the year, is a span of 56 days. Remember, 144, a lot to do with assassination. Obama was born 144 days before an episode debuted on the Andy Griffith Show about a bootlegging family getting busted at 411 Elm Street. Assassin equals 411 in Jewish gematria. JFK shot from 411 Elm Street in the middle of Dealey Plaza, named after a 33rd degree Freemason. Anyhow, from today until May 23rd, the 144th day of the year, is 56 days. The word president also has gematria 56. And with regards to 56, here's another one with Lincoln. Lincoln died shortly after turning 56 in April. April is the only month with 56 gematria. In history, Adolf Hitler, also a president blamed for a war, died shortly after turning 56 in the month of April, also his birth month. The name Adolf Hitler equals 110, just like the word president equals 110 the big way. The small way, 56. Lincoln, Hitler, both dead at age 56 in April, the only month with 56 gematria. Men blamed for wars. See how this works? Create a boogeyman, create a character, create a persona, blame them, and disappear them. This is all part of how they operate with their propaganda and get away with it. Suspicious death for Hitler, his body never recovered. Osama bin Laden first shown to the public with his back in the ocean. Come on, people. Put it together. These people are liars. They are repetitive. They code their propaganda just as I'm showing you by reading the code. You can see how it's all been done all these years. You can see what it's all about. Barack Hussein Obama, a name that reminds us of Saddam Hussein and Osama bin Laden, the men blamed for what happened on 9/11 when the 110-story World Trade Centers fell down. Osama bin Laden equals 110. Rockefeller equals 110. The project for the World Trade Centers was proposed by the Rockefeller family. Construction began in 68. 911 made the national emergency dialing code in 68. George W. Bush graduating from Yale in Skull and Bones in 68. All 33 years before 2001. We're living out a planned history, a planned agenda. The third building to fall that day, Building 7, 47 floors tall, each floor 47,000 square feet. The name Osama bin Laden, the small way, 47. Can't make this stuff up, truth seeker. They're doing it to us again and again and again by the numbers. 47, always a big one. Learn your numerology on your calendar and mark off your 47s and watch the pattern that presents itself each month, month after month. Pretty soon you'll start to see things the way I see them. And this news will become all the more predictable. The propaganda will be defeated. All right, truth seeker, until next time.